Mourners, a Nameless detective novel, by Bill Pronzini, read by Nick Sullivan.
We must all come to terms, for we must all lie down in darkness, and when we do, we take the measure of ourselves. H.R. Hayes, Lie Down in Darkness. Chapter 1. It was a small private funeral at the Glade Brothers Mortuary in Daly City. Different in all respects from the two funerals the day before. Both of those had been large affairs held in San Francisco, one in a funeral home in the Marina and the other at Mission Dolores. The bereaved were still gathering when we got there. Half a dozen cars were parked in the adjacent lot, and there were little knots of ethnically mixed individuals outside the mortuary's entrance. The age and makes of the cars and the mourners' dark suits and dark dresses said they were a low-income group. Troxell went straight inside, as on the other occasions, without speaking or acknowledging anybody, but this time I didn't tag along to watch him view the remains and then sit like a rock in one of the pews throughout the service. I dislike funerals in principle. Honoring the dead should be a personal and private act, not a ritualistic public spectacle. And I'd already exceeded my low tolerance level for dirge music, the sweet cloying scent of flowers, faces ravaged by pain and grief. I stayed in the car, wishing for maybe the 20th time that Jake Runyon hadn't been too busy to pull this duty, and called Tamara at the agency to fill her in. A few other cars arrived, and finally everybody went inside and the thing got underway. This one was mercifully brief. Inside of half an hour the doors opened and the slow exodus began. Troxell was in the forefront, ahead of half a dozen young, beefy guys bearing a simple wooden coffin with brass handles. One of the mourners, a weeping middle-aged woman in black, appeared to be close to collapse. Troxell stood off to one side, watching the pallbearers load the coffin and the weeping woman being helped into the front seat of the hearse. Again, he didn't speak to anyone. A couple of the men gave him curious looks, as if wondering who he was, but no one went near him. It didn't take long for the cortege to get underway. 8 cars followed the hearse along John Daly Boulevard to the 280 freeway. The first 6 contained family and friends of the deceased. The 7th...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?